Hi there, you lovely lot, and welcome to the latest episode of Pat's Procrastination, brought to you by the Pat's Propaganda YouTube channel. Please don't forget to be rating, reviewing, and subscribing. Here's Chudders, I am Clazzy Clare. It is the off-season officially, so we're very off-season-ish here on episode 91 of Pat's Procrastination. Don't expect structure, just expect chaos. But anyway, how are things with you, Chudders?
Speaking of structure and chaos, congratulations on the new haircut. It's lovely. I'm not throwing shade. No, it's very nice. You used the words out to throw that back somehow. I'm doing well, Claire. How are you?
I am good, thank you. Looking forward to the unstructured bit of a break that is now the off-season kind of ish. However,
we haven't got long.
Well, this is the thing. However, because this is it. We're bringing you guys a show every other week now because obviously there's only so much to talk about. A Claire Perspective has taken a bit of a break for about 6 weeks. That's like a stop for 6 weeks. And then it's like, well, it's still the combine. So I've got loads of combine research to do. And then there's rumours of tight ends being available popping up here and there to keep my attention. It's like, just when I try and get out there, just drag me back in. But yeah, I need a break. Look, I need a break. Somewhere there's a sign that says no days off in here, though, over there. Yeah.
No days off. No days off.
Yeah, no days off.
Well, we've got less days off because we made it to the Super Bowl.
Well, this is it. There is that. I know first off you wanted to make sure everyone was advised of the pending unrestricted free agents on the Patriots so that we can try and maintain some structure with this show.
Well, that would be fresh and new, wouldn't it? Let's try something new, shall we? So, the Pats have a number of upcoming free agents.
They do.
I'll try and do these in the order of... Well, I'm going to say one till last. So Antonio Gibson, but he's obviously been released, so I'm not expecting him to make a return. He obviously could on a maybe a cut deal, but I'm not expecting him to return to the Patriots. Just chip in if there's anything you want to talk about for any of these people. Chase on. I think he's one that if we can find a deal, we'd like to bring back. Would you concur?
I concur.
Excellent. Tonga, he's another one I'd like them to bring back if we can find the right deal.
I think he's going to be hitting free agency. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I think he's going to be hitting free agency because the last rumours I heard was the deal had been addressed a while ago and could not be concluded. So there's a chance that whilst we may get him back as a Patriot, he's going to check out the market first. Possibly, maybe. There's still time. Obviously, there's still time. Plenty of what we talk about today. There's still time for every single thing we talk about to change. Every single thing to blow up, to be honest with you. But yeah, as we see,
I agree. And that's an interesting one to keep an eye on. And obviously, we don't know how the relationship with the Pats is because from reports, like you say, they were working on a deal and that essentially broke down. They both thought they're very close, but it broke down. So did that break down with damage and, okay, screw you, I'm not coming here kind of thing, or screw you, we're not paying you that kind of thing? And that's a relationship that's been damaged and he ain't coming back here. He's going to find somewhere else. Or is it, well, you were close, but I think I'm just going to go test the waters. He'll test the waters and maybe doesn't. You know, he could come back if he finds the right deal. If he doesn't find maybe the money he thinks he could get elsewhere, he's not really offered it. Or maybe he gets closer to it. Maybe he does get it and he says, look, X team are going to offer me this. Do you want to match it? Because I'd rather come back to you for that money. Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see. Probably he's gone. But he was one that I was hoping that they'd have retained.
Might be, like you said, a way of eking that little bit more money out of them, trying to get them to see what he's worth. But it's one of those, it could be a risky game that he plays and also a risky game on the other side as well. Because if you want him back, because he's a very versatile player. And when he was out he was out injured, wasn't he, for a little bit? He didn't play for a little while. I don't know if he went on IR, but I know he was injured for a bit. And it was definitely something that was noticed in their play. So Yeah, it's a bit of a game of chicken that I'm a bit concerned about that's being played, I think, but we'll see.
No, I agree, and it's one that possibly there's rumours around Barmore on whether he could be a candidate to not be here next season, whether that's because of the injuries he's had, his potential heart condition, his court
Legal
case that I
issues,
think he's going at, legal issues that are coming up, that, you know, possibly Barmore's one that's not going to be around. Well, if he's going, do you want to look at, well, maybe we definitely want to bring back Tonga, and we want to provide that sort of continuity.
That's the thing. Can I ask, when you say heart condition, sorry, did you mean the blood clots to his lungs?
Yes, you're right. Different? I've got that wrong. No, you're right. I got that wrong. No, my mistake.
I didn't want to kind of correct you, but I didn't want to be unknowledgeable as well. So
no, I'm the unknowledgeable one. So Jalen Hawkins, he's one I'd like the Pats to resign. Personally, yes, I thought he had a good season.
Well, being okay getting rid, to be honest. Yeah, this Hawkins is one of the guys. Is he one of the guys that hits the list?
He's a UFA.
The edge guy. I got a list about edge rushers and stuff, and I was just wondering. I know that one of our guys is on a list, and it's that he's on a desirable edge rusher list. So, but sorry, that was
Chase. Safety.
Yeah. No. I got my list wrong. That's what I was checking. So yeah, yes, Hawkins. Yes.
I don't want you to get any information wrong.
Oh,
it's
like that, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, he's one. I think he played well. So with Woodson, obviously first year back, I thought the two of them played well. I'd like that to continue into next season. Jack Gibbons, he's one. He had a good season. He's a restricted free agent.
Yeah.
He had a good season. He's one that I'm not incredibly worried if he's not brought back, but if he is brought back, I'm pleased, kind of thing.
Oh, I'm of a different opinion to you. Then I want him back.
You're stronger. You're higher on him.
Yes,
I think he will, and I'm fine with that. I'm good with that, but I'm not completely worried if he isn't. Munford, tackle. Similarly, he contributed a bit. He was okay. He wasn't amazing, to be honest. Again, if it's a team-friendly cheap deal, potentially it's a developmental tackle, but if he doesn't come back, I'm not that worried.
Can I comment on that one?
Please do comment.
That one's one of the ones that it depends on what else they do as to how bothered I am with if they're bringing back, simply because of when he lined up in the jumbo package, it's not a secret that I think that they need a tight end anyway. And I know this, and it's an area of need that everybody's been talking about lately. But I think if they bring in somebody that is much more blocking rather than one of the very athletic draft guys that they will either touch upon later, or there'll be an article out on patspropaganda.com later this week anyway, folks. So if you're into your tight ends, there'll be some stuff for you. If they don't bring in one of those kind of guys, if they do get somebody who is a very consistent blocker, then the need for Mumford isn't quite the same as it was this season. I think maybe. That's my comment.
Possibly you could be right. That position, I agree, is needed. It's whether he is the quality of skilled person to fulfill it. The role, I agree, is required. And it's more of, you could pick up potentially even an early day 3 tackle who could perform at the same level, but potentially has greater upside. That's my theory on him. Now, he obviously has some experience in the scheme and in the system. Maybe they see growth for him, but he's not someone I'm overly worried about if he's not sticking around. Tommy DeVito, third quarterback. I'm again the same. If he sticks around, grand, but I'm not worried if he's gone. Any comment?
I just think for me, if they maintain that stability at quarterback, in the back room of quarterback, if you like, the non-starters, I just think it's another thing that's good for Drake May is the consistency of who he's playing and training alongside. Now, I'm not saying that if they brought somebody new in, he wouldn't be able to cope. That isn't my point. That's very extreme. It's just that we're now maintaining some continuity there in that quarterback room with the trainer and stuff. No, the quarterback coach not changing, and I can't think of his name now, and I had it written down. Bleep. But he's not. He didn't leave for the Raiders.
Ashton Grant.
So, yes, thank you. From Holy Cross. Yes, he didn't leave. So that's something else that's stable around the quarterback room. I just think if they maintain now, don't get me wrong, I don't want them to throw the bag at him or anything. I don't feel that's needed whatsoever. It's just I feel that if they do keep him, I think it'll be really good that they're maintaining the continuity, the same set. It's not bringing in any change. It's not ruffling anything, causing any ripples. I just think it would work well to keep some things the same to continue to develop. That's why my thing is it's less about him per se himself, and it's no disrespect to him. It's more about the maintenance of the continuity in that area that I just think might help a little bit with flow and stuff. I just think it'd be a good idea. So I might be more invested in maintaining him more for that than the actual individual per se. Again, no disrespect on me. Because I'm sure he's watching.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I have less concern about the third quarterback, but like you say, I understand the theory behind what you're saying there. Yasir Durant tackle, similar for me to Mumford. They keep him around, whoop-de-doo. If not that worried. Alex Austin, cornerback. He's a restricted free agent.
Oh, I still haven't got him.
He's a restricted free agent, from what I understand.
Yeah. Okay, I apologize. I'm just ticking them off, and I haven't got him on my list. Sorry.
My information could be false, but that's the information I have.
No. Oh, I'm not playing tit for tat again.
No, I'm being serious. Like, one of us is wrong. It could be me. I'm not precious over it. Alex Austin, I'd like him to return. He obviously didn't have as much of an impact this past season. He had previous seasons. If they can get him back on a decent enough deal, I'd like to see him return. Vidarian Lowe, left tackle. That's an interesting one. He's probably had more of an input than Durant and Munford, obviously. Some of it good, some of it not so good. I'm not sure where I sit on him, to be honest. I see value in bringing back someone for continuity purposes. Skill-wise, I think I'm not overly sold on him. How high that ceiling is, how low that floor is.
Yeah.
I've got concerns now, but I've got concerns with the starter at left tackle, let alone the backup. So, it's I've got no problem if he sticks around. Continuity, let's try and build something. But the offensive line is a problem, and it has been for a few seasons. And sadly, he's a common factor in that, in my mind. But you can do worse out there.
I'm just wondering if you can do better. That's the thing.
Yeah, the next three.
If it can do better, and if it can, because the other thing is keeping the O-line stable. That's something that really needs to happen this season.
I'd agree. The next three, we probably don't need to talk about too much. Denerick Prince, running back. Jacqueline Roy, defensive line. Isaiah Eaton, defensive line. Whatever. For me on those three. Didn't have much of an impact. I'm not too concerned, unless I'm missing something that I don't really care. Jack Westover. And we'll throw in now Austin Hooper. Fill your boots, Claire, because I'm assuming you have strong opinions on these two.
I don't have strong opinions, no. These are ones with asterisks. It depends what they do in free agency, and it depends what they do at the draft. Personally, I'd maintain Hooper on a team-friendly deal if it was feasible. Obviously, he needs to agree. But I'd maintain him for that continuity, that word that we keep throwing up. Please don't play a drinking game of each time we say that, because it might be said too much this episode, and it's very.
That's why I was drinking tea then. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but yes, if they draft a young,
you can't say that. You can't. Whoa. You can't say that because free agency happens before the draft.
I know.
So you can't say, "Oh, well, if they draft something, then it was fine."
They really should.
You've got to make a choice
and get it the other way around.
No, because then you'd say, well, "What do you want to do in the draft?" Well, it depends what they do in free agency. You know, we're going to keep these players.
Okay, there's no need for mocking.
Hey, no, whoa. Hey. You know, I was being well behaved then because you don't like it when I do the actual impression of Claire.
You see all what I have to put up with, folks. The abuse I have to entail.
That was the polite version.
Exactly.
Well, I'd be happy to bring back Westover.
Yes or no? Yeah, but the thing with Westover is he moved to fullback, which is great.
Yep.
But they've got Brock Lampy still. He was on. He went not on IR. But he was. Yeah, IR.
He's season long IR. Yeah.
Yeah. So the question is there room for those two, or what are they doing with Lampy? Is he coming back? Because I think that fullback position is something that Josh McDaniel seems to like. So
even
I'll be honest.
Even Tonga's played in it at times.
Yeah. I would be much happier if they bring those two guys back than if they don't.
Fair enough. No,
how concerned I will be if they don't. I'm not sure. I don't know if it's more disappointment than concern, if you like.
Westover, I'm happy to bring him back. I think he did a role in the fullback position. Potentially knowing that's his role, maybe he could develop that more in the off season, a bit more bulk.
Yeah, this is the thing.
And he could grow into that.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to bring him back. Hooper, I think the question is more there. Who do you want as a second tight end? Obviously assuming they're keeping Henry around. Because if you sign Hooper, he's your third tight end. So you're signing Hooper to be your third tight end. Is that what you're suggesting?
We need 3 tight ends.
No, I agree. You could do that. But my point is Hooper's probably a number 2 tight end.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're probably going to need to pay him $2.5 million a year, something like that. If that's for your third tight end, that's a lot of money.
No, I wasn't saying third. I was saying they need 3. My point was, it made it sound. I thought you were sounding like that's it, 2 tight ends, and that's it. Well, and it's like no.
But to me, that it links in with his value, though, because if you're keeping him around, and let's just say there's a world, right? I'm not saying this is going to happen, but let's say there's a world where you've fallen in love with Kenyon Sadiq, and you plan on moving up in the draft, and you're going to pick him up, or that next week in free agency, you go and pick up one of the Isaiah Likely. And I'm not saying they should, but if you pick up one of them, you surely aren't keeping Hooper because you're not going to pay Hooper $2.5 million to be your third tight end.
And there was a discussion. I'm trying to find my list now. There was a discussion, or it was put out there. It might have just been a rumor, so I haven't got ultimate valuable sources, I must admit. But there was ticklings of the Lions saying that Sam Laporta might be tradable. Now, I hate to do this, but if they bring in Laporta, Hooper's gone. Sorry.
What are you giving up? What are you giving up to get Laporta, Claire? Claire, you are GM. What are you giving up to get Laporta?
No, I'm not very good at this. I'm not very good at remembering the values of the picks and things.
Would you give up
Because he's got to be a trade, because I believe he's not a free agent.
Would you give up 2 first-round picks?
No, don't be stupid. Sorry.
Would you give up a first round and a 4th round? Which, I got to be honest, I suspect they'll want more than that, but I'm not sure.
This year's first round is quite low, so I'm going to get hate mail at this rate, though.
No, everyone knows you're a tight end enthusiast. Everyone knows you like Sam Laporta.
Oh,
I think it's fair,
so
but it's just how much you want to give up to get him.
I think I would lose.
I also saw Kenyon Sadiq's comparison with Sam Laporta as well.
It was?
It was.
I didn't see that because he's a little bit.
It's the one that I sent you as well, so that's just... right, so your dream is that they bring in Laporta.
Yeah.
You're so disappointed in that. Your dream is they bring in Laporta and Hooper's not around. So as we sit now...
Oh, that feels really mean, though.
Well, no, but I think it's fair. Hooper is your kind of backup option. With the free agents that are going to be available, if you think they can improve, go and improve. If not, let's fall back on Hooper. So let's say they're not picking up one of the, if you like, new, fresh, other free agents, tight ends. Do you want them to target Hooper and bring him back before the draft, which to me then suggests you're not giving up early capital for a tight end?
I think so, for the simple fact as there's only, I think, I don't think I'm out of place saying there's only really Sadiq that's going to be that top echelon of elite kind of first round ish. There might be a couple of the other guys obviously that get bumped up. I appreciate that, but I think from what I understand, there's plenty of quality depth a bit further down. So that's then the guy that you sort of develop and grow with Drake May situation. So I'd be happy with that if they bring back Hooper for say a year, team friendly deal, be nice, and then draft a slightly later.
So
I always get that one the wrong way round. I'm really good at that, especially early in the morning. A slightly later guy who's good, but a little bit of work. So then he starts as TE3, but then he's going to move up to maybe he's got the potential to be a TE1, maybe that sort of situation. He's more of your future. I'd be happy with that because I'd like the continuity and I'd like that they finally brought somebody in the draft that was decent.
So my question to you around the tight end class, possibly we can link this in with the combine and the research you've started. I appreciate you may not have finished your tight end research.
I haven't finished. No.
Kenyon Sadiq is about the only prospect that is seen as top level at both receiving and blocking.
Yeah. Yes.
Which is obviously, I'm assuming, what you and anyone else would desire in a tight end. There is likely to be about 4 or 5 tight ends that are going to go day 2.
Yeah.
Probably starting at the end of round 2, not much before that, and into early round 3 probably. So realistically, that obviously kind of fits with the Pats profile of where they are, but potentially because they are right at the end of the second round, you might not be getting your first choice of that second bunch if a few have gone. However, that bunch, realistically, they are more receiving tight ends than they are blocking tight ends. The group of blocking tight ends are likely to go day 3, spread out throughout the day depending on their various performances and strengths, weaknesses, floors, ceilings, etc., etc. However, it's the receiving tight ends that are more likely to go day 2 and the blocking tight ends that are more likely to go day 3. Do you think the Pats should be targeting that second group or that third group? If they're assuming they haven't obviously got Sadiq in the first round. Both. So you want double dip at tight end. So Claire would like Hooper, Westover, Henry, and then 2 more tight ends.
Yes, she would.
So when you held up 3 fingers, you really meant sort of 5 or 6. Yeah, what you're hoping on.
You can't expect me to choose yet. It's too early. It's not fair.
I mean, you don't have to. You're not the one in charge. But it's kind of the point of, yeah, next week, what do you want them to be doing based on what you'd like them to be doing in the draft? Now, it's not impossible. They do exactly that. They retain Hooper, they keep Westover, they put him in a fight with Lampy, and then they do draft 2 tight ends to throw Mud at the wall. Now, I think that's overkill, and that's too much being thrown at a position where likely you might only have one on the field, occasionally 2. That's too much resource in my mind when there's other things you need to fill.
Of course it is, because you're getting cross with me now for wanting too much tight endage.
You can want it if you want. I don't have to agree with it. That's all.
You never do, and I always do.
I don't mind if they keep Hooper. I don't mind if they target someone else. My thinking is, though, if they went and targeted someone likely, the idea, or Juco, then the theory would be he should be threatening Hunter more for a T1 position. And I'm not saying he's winning that battle. I'm not saying he's better, but that's someone that you're bringing in that's going to want a prominent role. Yeah. You're not bringing them as a T3 that they'll sometimes be 1, sometimes be 2, sometimes both on the field. Whereas Hooper, I think, is, if you like, more accepting of his T2 role. He wouldn't like it if it's T3. I don't mind if they go and target someone else. But then that does mean, for me, in the draft, you're not looking like pretty much until day 3 at a tight end, which I actually would be fine with. I do have a personal preference. I'd like, I'm going to probably butcher his name now, but Nate Bokircher. I'm hoping I'm close with that, from Texas A&M. He's the blocking tight end that I quite like the look of.
I like the look of him. Yeah, he's on my list. I have a list.
He's on your list. Now, he's probably 4th rounder, something like that. He's day 3, certainly. So I think that could be. So if that was your room, he was your new 3rd developmental tight end, and you have maybe picked up a fresher one in free agency or retained Hooper, and you've obviously got Henry, I'd be happy with that room. I don't need a 4th one as well later on. But that's waiting till day 3 for a tight end, and I suspect that would disappoint you slightly, maybe. Okay, go on. Is there anything more you'd like to comment on?
I was just going to say, if they signed Laporta, if they traded for Laporta, and then got 2 of the guys on my list, I'd lose my mind. Completely lose my mind.
I would lose my mind, because in that instance, they've given up draft capital this year, probably a 1st plus something else. Realistically, might even be a 1st and a 3rd or something, 1st and a 2nd, to get Laporta. They've then used 2 more draft picks to get 2 more tight ends. I would be vomiting, I think, at that much draft capital used on tight endage.
But Vrabel has said and talked a lot about the tight ends in the draft and stuff, and the need to tight end and stuff like this. He has been very vocal when it comes to tight ends, though.
And 4 picks used on tight ends.
Amazing.
Right.
I might tap out now, so you do the rest of the show.
Any more on free agency?
Have you covered everybody?
What positions do you think, outside of those that we've just mentioned, the Pats could retain? Is there any other positions you think the Patriots should be targeting in free agency?
I think there's a few bits to look at. It's more their areas of need being edge and tight end and the O-line stability. But again, we've talked a lot about that draft-wise. I wanted to ask you, actually, because everybody's talking about how edge is a position of need anyway this year. I'm assuming you would agree.
What's the area of need, sorry?
Edge is an area of need.
Edge, definitely. Edge is definitely an area of need. And tackle. Well, tackle. Something on the O line, maybe guard. Actually, to be fair, if the plan is we are really going to stick with Campbell as left tackle, then in my mind you need a guard. If the theory is, you know what, we found a guy, we're going to put him left tackle. Campbell, thank you very much. You're a guard. Go with that. But something needs to change on that O line. It was the reason the end of the season was so bad.
I need to pin that conversation because we don't have enough time.
That we got the Super Bowl, but you know what I mean.
Going to that. So can we pin that for a minute when it comes to O line? Just put a pin in that over there. Because I wanted to ask you.
Go for it.
No, go on.
Well, the Chiefs just let a tackle go. They released a tackle. Jawan Taylor. Personally, he's right tackle. He didn't have a great season. At first, when it happened, I was like, "Oh, this could be interesting," but no, I don't think I'm interested. But I thought I'd check in case you had any theories on that.
No.
Okay, go on.
Okay, so to pin the O-line stuff to maybe another, because I feel like that's going to be an argument, so I have to pin it for another show. Edge rusher, area of need. Do you want a high draft selection or to target someone aggressively in free agency? Oh, look, he's smiling. That makes a change on this show.
I'll do it. I'll do a Claire now, and I'll say one of the two. In as much as I do think it is probably the greatest area of need, and if you go and get someone like Max Crosby, I'm perfectly fine giving up my first round pick for that, maybe even a little bit more to make sure get that deal over the line. Would
you give two first rounders for him?
No,
because that was the initial ask.
No, and I don't think he's worth that. And I don't think that's I think that's just a negotiating position. But if you said it's a first and a fourth, something like that, Pat's obviously got 2 fourth rounders. I could do that.
Okay.
Yes, I'm happy to do that. If they didn't, if they said, you know what, the value's not there, we don't want to do that and essentially they say they make no trades, you've got all the picks they got now, then I think I'd be targeting edge with that first pick. Personally, Akeem Messidor is the one that I'd quite like. Again, we don't know whether he'll necessarily be available out of Miami. But he's around that sort of value. That's the sort of guy that I'd love to see them bring in, someone like that. I do think that's the highest area of need. I do think, depending on what's on the board, if they haven't addressed it in free agency or trade, then I think that should be what they're looking at.
You wouldn't let me say that, though. I wasn't.
I think I would.
Do the whole if they don't and this, that, and the other draft free agency because it's happening. You would let me do that. But point is, a couple of the free agent.
But you wanted both. But anyway, go on. I
just want. Trey Hendrickson, Bengals. We've got Jalen Phillips, Eagles. Khalil Mack, Chargers. At the time of recording this was right anyway. And obviously Chase on is on from the Patriots. The one I found interesting. What do you feel / think? I should have said think, not feel. Joey Bosa. Bills.
Very good. Not elite. The concern is the upside. He's very good. He's had some very impactful game seasons. He's getting on. Has he got his best ahead of him? Where I think Max Crosby's still at his peak.
Oh yeah, this was kind of like if the Max
and he's also not got the age, so he's
yeah.
Who
are you looking?
It wouldn't be a bad pickup.
Who are you looking?
It wouldn't be a bad pickup.
They're active. The Giants apparently are actively exploring trades for Kayvon Thibodeau. So I think a few people have said about him over the volume of what it might take to pick up Crosby, just because he's in that echelon and they just want more. Who would you have? Okay, say we can't get Max Crosby. Say he's too rich. Say it's just too rich, and it would just destruct everything that you've done, because I know we're running out of time. Who would you pick on the free agent list? Would it be Hendrickson? Would he be your first next one?
Probably, yeah. And even that's with slight caution over injuries and age, but he's probably the best one out there. I'd like him to target the best. They're in there, and this is where it's different to the past couple of years. Past couple of years, we've been looking to build something, structuring for the future. That's why allegedly they didn't keep Landry around, because they thought he's getting older. He's not going to be part of the next Super Bowl. So let's get some youth in and something that build a structure. Now, strangely enough, we've just been the Super Bowl. We obviously didn't win it. We're in a win now mode. And so now we need to bring in, we're not looking at young things that we can develop necessarily. I appreciate the draft you need to, but no, if we're picking up free agency, we're looking for people that can seriously improve us now, help us win the division again, and get us in that postseason and maybe do something.
And there's so much we didn't talk about, Diggs and AJ Brown, and we've run out of time completely, because I wanted to sort of say, we know what would happen for me to lose my mind with the whole tight end thing, because I know you're a very defensive guy and you're a very linebacker guy as well. And I was just wondering, with the need for edge, what's that thing that would make you lose your mind? Like, for example, they picked up Max Crosby and then drafted the who you mentioned in the first round, the top edge guy. What would it take to make you lose your mind?
Well, I'd lose my mind if they picked up all those tight ends you said.
No, in a good way then.
So I was gonna propose. I was actually going to propose to you, with the Pats having such a low first round this year, the likelihood is, as much as I'd hope they're picking 32 next year, the likelihood is they're probably going to have a higher draft pick available next season in the first round, and that arguably next season's draft is meant to be a lot stronger than this year's. So potentially, normally, future picks are worth less, whereas possibly future picks are not necessarily going to be worth more, but they're going to be at least worth closer to even, right? So what if there was a world where the Pats picked up AJ Brown and Max Crosby, giving up first and third, let's say, losing their first and third this year and next year? Would you like that world?
I don't think I'd like that world, no. Is that what it takes to make you lose your mind then?
Well, I think Max Crosby is the one I really want out of all these. AJ Brown, I'm cautious. He's very good talent. He obviously the expectation is he'd get on a lot better. He seemed to fall out with people, but he'd get on a lot better with Vrabel. But I'm not as down about the receiving core that we currently have. Now the asterisk with that is Stephon Diggs and whether he's going to be here next year.
Yeah,
I think fair. I said this before. If he's not going to be here, whether it's your choice or morals, should we say, as to what his legal situation is, he'll need replacing. Whether that is a talent, a top talent, like trading for AJ Brown, whether that's a high draft pick, the first round, maybe Concession, someone like that in the first round, or whether that's looking at free agency and maybe bringing in someone like, and now it's the guy off the Buccaneers who's available. Mike Evans. Someone like that who works very well in a system offense. It would need to be addressed. I don't think I see the benefit in bringing in AJ Brown on top of what they've already got if you kept Diggs. But for me, that the receiving core was kind of working well, I thought, for their different roles last season. It still doesn't have that elite talent, but I think elite talent at pass rush would do more than necessarily. That's more of the concern. So that's what I'd like to see. Right. We obviously need to go. One very last quick question I have for you. Claire, do you have a draft crush? Now you've watched Combine, looked at the stats. Okay, not fully.
I haven't. I'm marinating it down. I have a list, as I mentioned, I have a list of Titans that I want to look into further. But yes, I definitely have one, and it's definitely a tight end. Very specific. You need to come back to me because there's a few names in the running. So that'll be in the article probably.
Okie dokie.
There you go, folks. Keep an eye on Pat's propaganda. Oh, sorry.
I was going to say Jacob Rodriguez, linebacker out of Texas Tech. He's my day 2, day 3 draft crush.
He was getting a lot of traction. So when the combine stuff was going on, there was a lot of people liking him. There's going to be competition for him. So don't crush too hard. else you might be slightly heartbroken type thing. So yeah.
Exciting.
So
Next
that's
time
it,
we
folks.
meet, there'll be a
Yeah.
new Pats roster to talk about. I'm looking forward to that.
There will. 2 weeks. Free agency. My bad.
Okay.
My bad. Sorry, folks. Still too early. So sorry, this was supposed to be a short show and it really, really wasn't. So the trouble is we're trying to fit 2 shows in one. Maybe we shouldn't have gone to every other week at all, but still. That is it for Pat's Procrastination, episode 91. Please keep your eyes on patspropaganda.com for any articles and info. And also make sure you are smashing that subscribe button, as people say, to ensure that you get a notification every other week for Pat's Procrastination. So from him, Chudders, from myself, Clazzy Clare, tune in next time, folks. And as always, go Pats.
LFG.